Okay guys and girls, I'm back for tutorial 2. Now if you remembered, what we did last time is that we actually got the toolbar up here so that we could be able to form our data analysis in terms of correlation and multiple linear regression as what we did on Wednesday the 23rd of September for transportation engineering with Dr. Ray Furlong. Just to go back to the review, you go to File, it's taking a little bit here, you go to File, go to Options, you go to Add-ins, and here it is. If you're having any problems, let's go back to the last tutorial that I did, and you should have no problems. Now moving on. Now the next step is to get the correlation between each of the independent variables and the dependent variable y. Now, if you notice, I would have made a little change to the employment. I put it to the top row, on the second row, because when you merge and center in Excel, it kind of does some wonky stuff to your table, and you could get unpredictable results. As well, these numbers here, 1, 2, 3 to 16, is not part of the data set, so when selecting, be careful not to choose it. As well as, because of this new functionality with the toolbar, the average number of trips attracted per zone is also not necessary, but I will leave it there for now. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to do the correlation between the independent and dependent variables. So we go to Data, Data Analysis, choose Correlation and press OK. Alright. Now by default, this will be unchecked. This will be blank. Sorry. It had a range because I did this example before, and as well as this is usually selected by default, the output range. Alright, so the first thing you do, you go in order, is the input range. We select the input range. So you come across your worksheet, and you could select the heading, and it's advisable that you select the headings, and you'll see why when I'm finished. So you select the heading, and instead of dragging all the way down to the end of your data set, what I would suggest you do, because if you do have a long historical data which goes 1,000 plus rows, it's going to be difficult to get to the end. So what I suggest is that you highlight the first cell, right, which is cell B3, hold down Shift, scroll down to the last cell, and it will highlight the full range that you need. Okay, so now if you look across here in your dialog box, you see B3 to F19, which is B3 to F19. So you're good. The dollar sign just simply means that they are locking the cells. So they'll always look at these cells for the data. Group by columns, which is fine. It's grouped by the columns. Labels in the first row is yes, you take that off, so when you get the display, you'll see it organized by the columns headings, or the labels as I said here. Output options, now choose new worksheet, right, and you can name the worksheet anything that you want, but for now I would name it correlation, right? And it should appear at the bottom here as a new worksheet. You do have the option to place it on the existing worksheet, but proper and correct Excel page design predicates that you always try to put your results on a separate worksheet than on the worksheet with the raw data. Anyway, it's your preference at the end of the day. You can put it on a new workbook, but that could get messy. If you lose a file, or a file is moved from a specific location, you will get some errors in your results. Alright, so you have to be careful with that. It could be done, but you just have to be careful. Alright, so you press OK, and very quickly you get this table here that shows the results and the relationships between the independent and dependent variables. Now the column spacing or width are not formatted, so what you can do is highlight all the columns involved in the data and just double click when you get this cross, and that will be fine. If you want to continue formatting, like putting in grid lines and all that, that's your choice. This is the reverse of what we did in class, but it is the same data, just opposite, because these rows would have been to the top and these columns would have been to the where the rows are. But it's still comparing X1 to manufacturing, so X1 to X2. You can also go ahead and format how these numbers are displayed by going by the Home tab, and you could decrease the zeros, or you could press this dialog button here to get the number, or you can hold on Ctrl+1 and you'll get the dialog box as well. So it's numbers, 2 decimal places is fine. Let's press OK, and you get a little more streamlined. If you want to add more zeros, you can just come up here and let's increase it, which is fine. Alright, so that concludes my tutorial on how to achieve the correlation results that we did in class. Alright, this video will be posted soon, so enjoy.